Hey, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with a review of the new J. Cole album entitled The Off Season. Let's get to it. Alright, so this is the sixth studio album from North Carolina rapper, producer, and soon to be professional basketball player J. Cole. Now, whether you like his music or not, it is hard to deny J. Cole's impact and role as one of the greats in today's generation of hip hop. You know, when J. Cole even hints to dropping new music, all eyes and ears are glued on his very next move. And when he announced this project earlier in the month, it became one of the most highly anticipated projects in recent memory. Now, as much as I like and respect J. Cole as an artist, I gotta keep it a buck. His last two albums, For Your Eyes Only and KOD, were some of my least favorite in his discography by far, simply because the hunger didn't seem to be there, and it felt like he was trying too hard to make these conceptual masterpieces. And I've actually felt a similar way about Nas albums before, and that some of his best were the ones where he just focused on the bars and not these lofty concepts. Let's be clear, I'm not suggesting J. Cole is on the level of Nas, but I'm sure to a younger audience, J. Cole is the closest thing to Nas that they are going to get. Thankfully, however, on this new album, The Off Season, J. Cole goes back to the basics of just rapping hard. The Off Season is his first full-length project since 2018's KOD. Now, aside from his work on the Dreamville project, along with some strong feature verses, the No Name response in 2020's Climb Back single, J. Cole has been unusually quiet. But this new project contains 12 tracks and lasts at what I would consider an ideal album length of 39 minutes. From the cover art, it's evident that he's sticking to the basketball theme found on his earlier mixtape projects, and I thought that was dope considering those projects are some of my favorite. There are some features, finally, but they are hidden from the track list as expected. He's got Cameron, 21 Savage, Lil Baby, Moray, and Boz. But with that being said, let me go ahead and hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. The opener, 95 South, is a hard hitting banger. You have Killer Cam providing some narration on the hook, although I wish he would have given us a verse, as the talking was just a tease. The beat samples from a portion of Jay-Z's You Don't Know, so I feel there was a throwback quality going on here. From the beat itself, the Cam feature, a reference to Jeezy, and of course the infectious Lil Jon sample. It feels like an attempt to pay homage to the 2000s era hip-hop. Cole does some boasting and greasy talk here. A couple of bars that caught my attention were "Bullets be humming like Cuddy," and "Cole been going plat since back when CDs was around. What you sold, I tripled that. I can't believe these fucking clowns." But this was a great way to kick the project off. It will have you feeling hype and, you know, ready to check or smack someone for looking at you wrong. It's basically the opposite of soft and boring. Now, track 2, Amari, really slows down the pace quite a bit. Cole does some harmonizing on the hook, which I think works. This is set to a guitar plucking instrumental similar to what you might find on a Lil Baby song. It's moody and melodic. Cole is rapping and singing with a heavy layer of auto-tune, and while I thought the lyrics were actually good, I gotta be honest, I wish he would have just, you know, rapped or sung this in his normal voice. Also, I feel this track could have benefited from being included later on the album, as it kind of brought down the energy of the explosive banger. I mean, it's still a good vibe and all. It's very modern sounding, but I don't consider this to be an incredible song. Track 3, My Life, flips an attractive soul sample, but it uses the same hi-hats as the previous song, but this manages to give it more of a trap soul vibe. This features 21 Savage, who collaborated with Cole back in 2018 for his smash single A Lot, and this feels like a follow-up or reunion to that 2018 song. The two get a little pensive as they reflect on overcoming the struggle. J. Cole speaks on his family's addiction to drugs, while 21 speaks on the trauma he experienced coming up. The hook, provided by Moray, which is Stand Out, actually borrows from the Styles P and Pharoah Monch song The Life, so I'm assuming Cole was giving a nod to that raucous record sound with this sample. Either way, it's a nice and unexpected addition to the album. Right after is Applying Pressure, a song where Cole spazzes over this jazzy boom bap loop. It's more of a traditional production sound we're getting here. Cole is basically flexing, talking his talk, letting them know he's not a slouch on the mic. The whole verse is fire, as you could really sense his hunger. He's rapping like he has something to prove, which is always a great thing for any MC to do. He raps, "My latest beat sounds like they was released by David East. What up, East?" So that's a nice shout out to Dave East, although I was kind of caught off guard when he referred to him as David. So I feel like now with his next review, I gotta say David East. Cole goes on to call out the broke rappers who insist on flexing despite their limited funds. Ain't nothing wrong with living check to check because most have to. Instead of capping, why don't you talk about being a broke rapper? That's a perspective I respect because it's real. What it's like to be nice as fuck, but gotta stress to pay the bills. This is one of those records that you play for someone who says that J.Cole is boring or that he doesn't have any bar heavy records. The following, Punching the Clock, is short, but one of my favorites. I feel the lively soul production really brings out the emotion and passion in Cole's voice. He's doing some storytelling, reflecting back to his days as a youth in Vietnam. Thought it was toys, it was a Glock this dude handed me. I busted the trees, was barely strong enough to squeeze. Bullets traveled through leaves, it probably killed somebody randomly. Ran up in the crib, played it off amongst the family. The bars here are so cinematic that I was getting some strong Nas vibes. It just has that Ville-matic feel. Very dope song in my opinion. It's short, but very effective. I feel the following, 100 Mil, was a missed opportunity. While I like the bass heavy trap and soul fusion going on with the beat, his vocals were layered with more auto-tune, and that just seems so unnecessary. Although I thought his verse was strong, particularly when he said, "I come from a city most dudes ain't never heard of until they popped in the first CD. Now look, I'm on the Mount Rushmore. You dudes can't front no more." And it's really a claim that's hard to argue against, because to this generation, J. Cole would be on the Mount Rushmore of rap faces. Now, towards the end of the track, there's barely a second verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, then followed up by an outro. These were all okay, but just seemed like little distractions, as I would have preferred a second full verse. This one was just alright, but it had the potential to have been much greater. Next is the thought-provoking Pride is the Devil featuring Lil Baby. On here, they speak about one of the 7 deadly sins, which is pride. This has a melodic acoustic guitar instrumental, very fitting for a Lil Baby feature. Cole's verse is once again drenched in auto-tune, but I think it fits the vibe much better than on 100 Mil. This track just makes you think about how our daily thoughts and interactions are often motivated by pride. It's like the ego, something that can creep up on you if you don't keep it in check. For the most part, I do like this one. I know the purists won't, because there's a Lil Baby feature and the production is trendier sounding, but I thought it was pretty solid. What comes next is Let Go of My Hand. The instrumental is jazzy with some woodwinds reminiscent to the production found on For Your Eyes Only, but thankfully this is the only For Your Eyes Only kind of beat on this album. On here, Cole is doing some deep introspection and just being very transparent about certain past events. He acknowledges giving different religions a try, but admits to lacking the discipline to stick with them. He also confesses to being somewhat shook as a kid, even though he put on the tough demeanor. Additionally, he brought up the 2013 fight with Puffy, although they are cool now, as Puffy lends a prayer at the end of the song. Boz appears on the hook to do some soft crooning, but overall it's another solid and thoughtful record. The subsequent track is Interlude, which serves as the album's second single. It has a head bobbing chopped soul sample, giving it sort of a 2000s southern rapper aesthetic. He makes use of auto-tune, but it didn't bother me really at all because the lyrics were dope. He's essentially reporting live from the trenches, talking about the gun violence in the community. This southern heat make unbearable summers. Seen your mama was crying because she don't want to bury your brother. Also, respect mine, gotta stay out of trouble because Tech Nines like to air out rebuttals. Thought that was pretty clever. Altogether, it's a dope interlude that segues nicely into the album's first single, The Climb Back. Now, this contains a bass-heavy beat with some sparkling keys and chipmunk soul vocals. It's a record that I like much better on this album than I did as an individual single. Cole is pouring out his pain as he speaks candidly on the struggle. It's a lyrically dense record with a heavy subject matter, nothing pretty about it, as it's just reality rap. There are a lot of quotables here, but in the interest of time, I'm not gonna go over them, but just know it has some of the best bars on the whole album. The penultimate track is Close. It's a conceptual record where Cole tells the story of a close friend who was swallowed up by the streets. This is set to a soulful boom bap beat which samples from MF Doom's Valerian Root. I think the storytelling here is vivid, passionate, and rich in detail. You know, Cole managed to find his way out of Vietnam through rap, while his friend unfortunately became a victim of the streets. The album then wraps up with Hunger on Hillside. The gorgeous strings give it an epic and heroic feel, but the drums are still boom bap. Now, there was something about this instrumental that reminded me of Graduation era Kanye. We get Boz on the hook providing some softly sung vocals once more, and Cole manages to merge both rapping and singing here, switching in and out of the two styles pretty seamlessly. He's also rapping in a triplet flow on the second verse, which I think manages to help build the intensity of this record. I could almost envision Big Crit sounding great on here. Overall, I give this album a rating of 4 mics. I feel it was a return to form for J. Cole, as he clearly played to his strengths. This was more mixtape energy J. Cole than the grandiose and lofty conceptual Cole. It's an album that seems to have high replay value, as I've been able to play the whole thing through several times without any skips. There weren't any cringy sexual bars either, which was good because those typically accompany Cole projects. The main issue I had was with the auto-tune, which was hit or miss on the 4 to 5 songs that included it. Now, perhaps 5 auto-tune songs out of 12 isn't a lot for some, but I found it to be highly unnecessary, as Cole clearly doesn't need it to enhance his skill as a rapper, so why do you really do it? But at the end of the day, I still feel this is his best album in years, probably since Forest Hills Drive. It is a big step up from For Your Eyes Only and KOD, thus making it a strong return for the Vietnam wordsmith. My favorite tracks include 95 South, Applying Pressure, Punching the Clock, Interlude, The Climb Back, and Close. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section below. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. J. Cole, The Off Season 1.